your heart. I'd light the fire in the dark. When you sound the alarm, we'll find each other's arms. For your love, all you are. I'd start a riot. I'd start a riot.
All right, happy Tuesday. Welcome back to another episode of Morning Coffee with your host, Rick Alexander. Hope your weeks are all off to a good start. Things are going well for you this week, and you're making time for you. Because I think as far as all of the people that I talk to, I'll tell you this. One of the things I absolutely love about the Morning Coffee listenership and everybody that reaches out is that I feels like we're all in this journey together. We're all figuring it out. We're doing the work, trying to learn from our mistakes, double down, come out with a better effort. And if I could sum it all up, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but what it seems like to me is that people are no longer willing to accept the status quo for their lives, because there's something that happens, and that is you achieve the status quo. You achieve all the things that you think you're supposed to do, and you look around and then you ask yourself a question, and that question is this it? Is this really all it is? Because a lot of times we chase the money and the job and the status and the things, thinking that happiness is on the other side of those things. And as anybody who has accomplished enough figures out, you're actually on a treadmill and there's nothing there. There is no other thing on the other side of that. Instead, you have to figure out how to be happy now. And I think really that starts with making time for who you are and what you want. And, self-care is preached a lot these days, but but they don't really talk about how or why or anything like that. And so I kind of wanted to delve into some of those ideas. I think, honestly, when it comes to self-care, one of the things that's mainly important is that you just sit with your own thoughts and you examine them as if you're somebody else. And that's something that can be really difficult to do because you're so wrapped up in your own bullshit sometimes that it's really hard to take a step away from that. I think meditation is really good for that. But when you are analyzing your life and you're thinking about all of the different aspects of who you are and really trying to figure out who you are and what you want, one of the main things is that you really be able to objectively look at yourself and your actions. But that's a bit of a tangent, so I digress. This episode is really about what I was talking about at first, which is when we begin to get all of the things that status quo says we should have, and then we find that they don't really make us as happy as it seemed like they were supposed to, or as everybody made it out to what they were supposed to be. It never really pans out like we think. And instead, what I found is you just actually should just go after the life that you want, figure that out, and then that's where your happiness is. Like, you have to cultivate this shit for yourself, because if you continue to do what everyone says you're supposed to do, you're going to continue to find that the other side is a little more empty than you were hoping it would be. I've spent a lot of my life, I almost look at the first 31 or 32 years of my life as one thing, and then this realization as the next thing, right? Because I'm so much different of a human. Once I realized that, I thought I was doing all the things I was supposed to do, but I wasn't. What I was doing is all of the things that I thought other people wanted me to do. And so my thing for you today, my nugget of wisdom or my question that you should ask yourself is really objectively look at your life, all of your actions, the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Figure out which ones are for you, and then not which ones are for other people, but which ones you're doing because you think that's what other people expect of you. See, because what I found is, we build all this up in our head, and a lot of times what we find is that people they just want you to be happy. I spent a lot of time applying for prestigious programs. I remember I got into the Harvard EMBA program, and I was like, God, I was just thinking my mom is going to be so proud of me. And I build this up all the time because I want people to be proud of me. We all do. We want to be validated. But at the end of the day, the people that really care about you, the people that I think about in my mind when I think about who I want to make proud, they just want to see you happy. They just want to see you succeed. They want to see you build a good life for yourself. And sometimes, as we're growing up, we're taking all of these environment cues in to figure out who we should be and what we should want. And we sort of build our framework for ourselves through these environment cues. And then we end up spending the rest of our lives trying to live up to this ideal that we've created. And I think what you find is when you look into this ideal, what you really find is that the people that matter the most, They just want you to be happy. Now, if you want to do something that seems outlandish, like I've done a lot of outlandish things, as you can tell, I podcast and coach and write for a living. What I began to realize is the people that matter most, if they actually have a problem with the things that you're doing, or they, like family especially, if they meet it with resistance, it's because they don't understand, and they don't understand how what you're doing and how that road could lead to happiness. Because what they were taught was the American dream and the stability and the mortgage and the 401k and the kids. And so maybe yours looks a little bit different. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I have no idea your life, but I do know that most of us are doing things that we think other people want of us. But at the end of the day, those people want us to be happy and successful. And if we prove that that can be gotten in another way, they're actually completely okay with it. But it's that resistance phase. It's that moment when you're like, I'm thinking about going right, and everybody expects you to go left. They're not getting mad because you're actually going right most of the time. They're getting upset because they want what's best for you. And they're afraid that if you go right, you're going to wind up unhappy. And truthfully, one of the things that you need to think about is if you are looking at doing something that might be a little bit different than the status quo, is that it's not their job to believe in you. Like it's really not. Like family, maybe you could make a case for that, but like if you're doing something that's not been done before, or that's not done frequently, then you just need to understand that they don't understand because they can't see it, right? And that's what makes a visionary so great in this life, is that they have that vision before others do. And so for you, like when we talk about reflective work and we talk about your life, and if you're doing all the things you think you should do and it's still not getting you the fulfillment you need, well, you need to look around. You need to create a vision for your life, and then you need to start executing on that vision. But that vision needs to be in alignment with who you really are and what your values really are, and not what you think other people want from you. The people that matter most in this life, they want you to be happy. That's it. If they want you to be happy in their specific way, it's because they have control issues, they have shadow sides, they have personality things that they haven't yet worked through. That's not a reflection of you, but the people that matter most, they want you to be happy. And if you're not hurting anyone else, then they're going to be okay with it. But it's your job to execute on the vision, to show them that it can be done, that the world doesn't work in just one way for every single person. And the reason I'm saying this is because I spent a huge chunk of my life apologizing for who I was. I kept fitting myself in a box I didn't belong. And every time I would rebel against that box, whether it be in relationships or jobs or whatever, I was always explaining away the best parts of me. I was always saying like, I'm sorry, I can get it together, I will do my best. And that's what it's over and over if you don't fit in that one little box of society. And then what you find is, even if you were to make yourself fit, you would be subjugating the best sides of you. Whatever you think about when you close your eyes and there's nobody else around, and you have this nagging thing for a life that you might want, or a project you might want to do, or a business you might want to do, I can promise you that you have that idea and that vision because you are uniquely positioned to execute on it. You already have the things that you need to get going. Now, you might need to gain other things and gain more potential and level up along the way, but you've got enough to start. You just got to get quiet enough to hear yourself. You need to stop apologizing for who you are. You need to step into who you are fully. And if I could tell you anything, it would be to stop doing things that you think other people want of you. Because the people that matter, they just want you to be happy. I love you guys. I want you to be happy. I'll talk to you later on Morning Coffee. Oh, and this outro music was provided by the Joey Harcum Band. The name of the song is Love and Labor. One of my favorite songs ever, actually, just because of the words really describes what it's like to go after something you're truly passionate about.
Save your bets, I'm not through yet. I'll quit when it becomes a chore. All in stride, time after time. I don't know why I come back here for more. I got awards on my table, but it don't mean a thing. There ain't enough merit in this world that's gonna buy my girl a wedding ring. Got records on my wall, but it don't mean shit. They won't pay my bills when they figure out why I'm sick. No, you don't do it for the money, you don't do it for the fame. can say is that it's a love and labor game. It's a love and labor game. It's a love and labor game. And a man's gotta work. You know a man's gotta work. Right? Gotta work. So you're a rover boy, where you're meant to die out on that highway. Now you're self-employed, you're getting way too used to being lonely. When you feel the void, tip that bottle over when you're thirsty. Were you overjoyed? Did it overtake you on your worst day? Don't you do it for the money? No. Don't you do it for the fame? Well, all you can say is that it's a love and labor game. It's a love and labor game. It's a love and labor game. And a man's gotta work. You know a man's gotta work. Right? A man's gotta work. So save your bets. I'm not through yet. I'll quit when it becomes a chore. All in stride, time after time. I don't know why I keep coming back for more. I keep coming back for more. Well, I keep coming back for more. You know a man's gotta work. I guess a man's gotta work. You know a man's gotta work.